social policy, which centers on needs of the people, the country is facing a marked process of population aging, requiring specialized attention for people over 60 years of age. The country's social welfare system provides support to seniors. There are 274 older adult community centers and one social worker for every 600 families in Cuba.
That's right, and older adult community centers are precisely one such specialized service provided to the aging population here in Cuba. These institutions are open daily from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. and receive individuals whose families are unable to care for them during the day, especially working people. Support is also offered to these seniors who must look after themselves and continue to carry out normal everyday tasks. Well, the 274 such facilities that Ed just mentioned are distributed throughout the country with a capacity for 9,393 people, as well as 3,310 daytime care places across the island's networks of retirement homes. As such, Cuba is able to provide daily care to some 12,703 people 60 years of age or older. Meanwhile, work is underway to establish older adult community centers in Mariel, Caimito, Alquizar, and Madruga, the only 4 Cuban municipalities which currently lack these services.
Ed, tell me about the Sol de Otoño, or Autumn Sun Community Center in the municipality of Central Havana.
Well, preparing for this program, Gerwin, we spoke to its director, Elizabeth Abreu Dixon, who explained that the facility is located close to the sea and was built almost a century ago. She noted that the institution receives older adults who are referred by their community doctors. They know residents well and are able to identify older adults in need of assistance. Meanwhile, information about the center is disseminated by neighborhood organizations such as the CDRs, the Committees for the Defense of the Revolution, the Federation of Cuban Women, and other organizations which help to promote the facility within the community.
Also, Inés María Angulo Domínguez, a social worker at Sol de Otoño, explained that her work is focused on helping to restore older adults' physical, psychological, and cognitive functions with the aim of reinserting them into the community. An occupational therapist, Inés María, stated that, and I quote, "We assess the older adults' active capacities and establish training methods working with patients given their slower learning process. We integrate them into the group and give them certain responsibilities in order to improve and increase their participation in household activities."
That's right. Older adults are divided into 3 parts, A, B, and C. The first requires them to socialize, carry out cleaning tasks such as dusting, arranging furniture, helping to set the table, and others. They also receive music therapy and practice daily activities which they haven't done in a long time. Those in Group B undertake activities to develop their orientation skills and awareness of their surroundings. They go over daily bathing habits, table manners, and other tasks, including washing their hands and brushing their teeth, all of which contribute to the individual's social and occupational rehabilitation. And those in Group C are able to perform all of the vital functions described above, also taught how to use electronic devices such as TV remotes and decoders, cell and landline telephones. There are also plans to teach members IT skills on how to surf the Internet, a service which is currently unavailable due to a lack of computers.
What about family relations?
Well, Angulo Dominguez said, and I quote, "We are looking for greater integration with their closest relations. We visit homes and give advice on activities to be undertaken during the evening. We also promote exchanges with other institutions, such as the Municipal Office of Culture and Sports, to organize activities featuring artists or for sporting pleasure. As people get older, they face new realities. Children leave the family home, new health problems present themselves, their working life comes to an end, and eventually older adults cease to occupy a central role in the family.
And besides the country's health and education systems, the Ministry of Labor and Social Security also does much to improve the quality of life of older adults on the island, developing important measures geared toward preventing and managing problems likely to affect this segment of the population.
What are the policies of the Ministry of Labor and Social Security in this regard?
Well, on this issue, Joel Magín Hernández Padilla, Director of the Ministry's Prevention, Assistance and Social Work Department, told us, and I quote, "In Cuba, we have a work system to provide a comprehensive response to problems associated with older adults, which are usually organized by the Ministries of Public Health, Culture, Education, Higher Education, the Older Adults Faculty, providing university-level courses, local governments, and the National Institute of Sports, Physical Education, and Recreation. For this, we have one social worker for every 600 family units who work in the community and are responsible for attending families with elderly members to prevent social problems that may be linked to violence, neglect, or abandonment."
That's right, and he also said that social workers must identify problems and from there evaluate the causes, draw up an action plan, and assess how the situation is progressing. However, they can't do this alone. It must be done together with all actors of the community.
And of course, the structure of the Cuban family has been changing over the last 50 years, from two-parent units with several children to those with fewer children and many single-parent families. This situation frequently results in many older adults living alone or with relations unable to care for them full-time or lacking the necessary resources to meet their needs.
That's right. In such cases, the social welfare system, which although not specifically directed to older adults, does benefit this sector more than any other, offers monetary, in-kind, and service-based benefits. Regarding the former, noted Hernández Padilla, they are given a checkbook through which they receive their pension payments. This is done by assessing all members of the household relations in a position to provide help, income, and expenses, following which a checkbook is either approved or denied.
And as Hernández Padilla noted, in terms of services, the system provides the option of a social worker who makes home visits to older adults who live alone. The social welfare system pays someone to help older adults with daily tasks or chores for between 4 to 8 hours a day, depending on the needs, mobility, and general state of the individual, as well as their ability to look after themselves. The benefits include food services provided by the Ministry of Trade through units operated by the Family Assistance System, not having to pay for medical prescriptions or transport fares if the individual needs to travel to another province to receive medical care.
Cuba's social care policy isn't just designed to protect the individual, but entire family units in need of assistance. Both the readiness of institutions and bodies to work jointly to resolve issues affecting older adults, as well as the political will of the government to make this group the focus of attention, are examples of the humanist spirit of the Cuban Revolution. Shortly before ending our visit to the Sol de Otoño Older Adult Community Center, we spoke to some of those benefited by the institution, all of whom feel at home there, where they exercise, play board games, receive medical care, and are provided with guaranteed meals. Their smiles reflect their gratitude, years of accumulated wisdom, and lust for life. All agree that the community center is like a big family, where they share interests, develop skills, and are encouraged to continue living a full life. The secret of such success lies in the give and receive concept of the care provided.
And on this positive note, we'll tie up this week's edition of The Real Story. Thanks to Elena Valverde and Ed Newman for their contribution. I've been your host, Gerwin Jones, and until next time, ciao.
The Real Story story heard every Thursday here on Radio Havana, Cuba. That's about all the time we have for today, but we still have time to take a look at our headlines for this past hour. Presidents of Cuba and Ireland meet in Havana and confirm potential for cooperation. President Raul Castro receives Iranian Minister of Health and Medical Education. Palestinian President calls on Israel to halt settlement activities. And European Union Foreign Policy Chief says the U.S. never so polarized and divided. And that's it. But you can come back and check us out tomorrow here on the radio. We're here 7 days a week on RHC. From Studio 8, this has been our English language broadcast for today with Lena Ann Gettleman on the news desk. On the controls, Jose Pepe Costa Pupo. General production by Juan Jacomino and artistic direction by Annabelle Fontanella. I've been your host, Ed Newman. And tomorrow in our programming, we'll have our regular Friday lineup. It's the Caribbean Outlook Show, our Plato Fuerte, and our news, our commentary viewpoint, and our great Cuban music from this Caribbean island. All of that and much, much more right here on the radio, Radio Havana, Cuba. Mañana.